Hey guys, it's Patrick from Healthy You. In today's video we're talking about core training. Now in our last few videos we talked about how to utilize the abs in some positions to resist arching the lower back and to set the spine in a good position. It's important to remember that the core is designed to do three things. 1. Resist extension of the lower back. 2. Resist bending to the side, or what we call lateral flexion. And 3 is to resist rotation. The next couple of videos are going to talk about that ability to resist bending to the side. Now, there are three things that I need to have or be doing in order to do this technique. The first one is my shirt's tucked in so that we can see where everything's at. The second thing is that I have an awesome Rocky Marciano t-shirt on. And the third thing is that I've got a weird look on my face. All three I'm obviously overachieving in. So now that we're all set, here we go. In our starting position, the spine should already be neutral. You're going to see that I pushed the ground away through the shoulders, and I also braced my abdomen, stiffening up my spine. So now my spine is already in a straight line, pelvis through the chest, through the head, through the neck. I have that straight line position. My shoulders are being pushed away, and they're also being pushed down. So I've got this really strong triangle here up in my shoulders. You can see, well, it's actually hard to see from this angle. I'm going to show you an angle later. But my heel back here, my left foot, is lined up with my hips all the way through my ear. Let's get rid of all those arrows. Now, keeping this nice tight position, I'm going to drive my heel down into the floor, and then I'm going to drive my hips. This is going to be tough to make this arrow, but I'm going to drive my hips forward. Just like this. So in the top position of the plank here, I should be keeping my shoulder pulled down. My hips are driving forward like we just talked about. This heel is pushing down. I'm pushing off of my bottom knee. The area that we're working is especially the QL of this side, the quadratus lumborum. It's what keeps my pelvis tied up into my abdomen and resists bending or falling. When you stand on one leg, your opposite hip should resist falling because the QL draws it up. I'm going to hold this top position for 5 seconds and then relax. And when I relax, it's important that you saw I hinged my hips back. So I didn't sag my body to the floor. I pushed my hips back and down to the floor, keeping that nice straight line through my spine. There. So I never bent my lower back. Now one thing you're going to see is that this shoulder right here is starting to droop forward. I need to draw that back. So let's see how well I do here. Yep, they're right there. Perfect. I drew that shoulder back. So now my lats engaged right here. My core is braced and engaged, and I'm going to use my glutes to drive my hips forward. Up. Again, nice straight spinal position. This shoulder's pulled down. The hips are driving forward. The heel's driving down. And my QL right here is working really hard to keep my body up. We do not want to sag the hips down. A great rule of thumb is to do 3 sets of 6 on each side. That will accumulate 30 seconds of tension on each side, and then I would do 2 or 3 sets each side. Let me speed this up here because I have another position I want to show you real quick. Here we go. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you here. I'm trying to get the angle right. You can see that when I start, I've got a straight line here pretty much from my heel through my hip, through my shoulder, through my ear, and then as I lift up and forward, I create a new straight line from this knee through the hip, shoulder, and ear. Now one thing I'm not doing a great job of is this shoulder right here. That should be drawn back. You see how it is dumping forward? you can see this kind of all this saggy area right here. If that shoulder was drawn back, my back would look really taut and really broad, and that's the whole idea. But here's another thing. Notice how I drew my hips back. This is very important. We're not side bending the spine. We are hinging the hips back to the floor, utilizing the crease in the hip. I want to move along here right away. That, guys, is a Perform Better mini band. We're going to take it around the tops of the knees, assume the exact same position other than the fact that now my feet are stacked on top of one another. I'm showing you guys I have a straight line from my heel through my hips, through my shoulders, through my ears. I'm going to cross that top hand, stiffen the chest, brace the core, lift the hips up and forward, and pry the knees apart. So now my knees are pushing apart, so my glutes are active in the back. The shoulders still pulled down though. I'm pushing off the bottom feet, and I should have a straight line, knee through the pelvis, through the shoulders, through the ear here. And again, my QL, my quadratus lumborum, is holding my tension on the side. At the end of my 5 seconds, when I hinge my hips back, I'm going to close my knees together. So it's called a modified side plank clam. Hips up, knees apart. The band is going to allow you to utilize a lot more of your glutes. You're going to get a lot more tension in the back, and it's actually going to make the side plank position easier because your glutes aid your abdomen in contraction, but you're also going to get a lot more work done here. So again, and you can see I just pulled that shoulder back to tighten up that position, which is really, really important. My shoulders should be more or less stacked through one another all the way through my elbow. Nice, strong spinal position here. Side position, you're going to see nice straight line, heels, hips, shoulders, ear, lift up, new straight line, knee, hips, shoulders, ear. Again, this shoulder needs to be pulled down. Guys, if you have any questions about this activity, please leave them in the comments below. If it was helpful for you, go ahead and hit the like button. And I know it's really hard to see the screen, but while you're at it, visit our page, Healthy You, and hit subscribe. That way you're going to get a notification every time new great content comes out. Again, my name is Patrick, and I will see you on our next video.